Today our guest is lawyer Alasgar Mammadli. Welcome to our studio. Our subject is related to journalists' rights. Foreign journalists were taken to migration office during 17 April protest. They wanted to deport journalists. How do you assess this? I'm greeting you and audience. The source of all rights is being regulated in Constitution, international conventions and laws in Azerbaijan. It is inadmissible to restrict rights of people and journalists according to law. Everybody has right to obtain information under the Article 50 of Azerbaijani Constitution. When we say everybody, we mean physical, legal person and foreign citizen. Their right to access information is being regulated. Their rights are free. License was not demanded from the journalists in Azerbaijan. Journalism is not licensed work. The journalist is able to obtain information from everybody in demanded form under the Article 8 of Law on Mass Media. Execution of decision issued by European Court of Human Rights is obligatory. Government should carry out the decision issued by the European Court of Human Rights, although it contradicts with Constitution. Article 10 of Convention provides the rights to freedom of expression. Everybody has right to freedom of expression. Nobody should be forced to promulgate his her thoughts and convictions or to renounce his her thoughts and convictions. Everyone is free to look for, acquire, transfer, prepare, and distribute information in spite of state borders. There is no discrimination against foreigners in law and constitution. Article 50 of mass media provides accreditation of the journalists. The mass media can accredit the journalists at state organs, entities, plans, organizations, public associations from their consent and with observance of the rules of accreditation established by them. Article 8 of Law on Mass Media provides the right on getting the information. Article 50 on accreditation facilitates journalists' work. It is inadmissible to accept accreditation as permission system. Several steps were taken in the legislation. Foreigners should receive permission to observe elections. A step was taken in the Code of Election and Law on national television and radio broadcasting. As I said, there is no permission system for journalists in not only convention but also Azerbaijani constitution. It is a contradiction between two normative legal acts. It contradicts with law on mass media, Azerbaijani constitution, and Convention on European Courts of Human Rights. Azerbaijan authority has joined Council of Europe for 10 years. Everybody has right to obtain information. It should not be restricted against citizenship. Foreign journalists can obtain information if they don't interfere in anybody's apartment. Their rights should not be restricted. These restrictions will damage international image of Azerbaijan. This will be ground against multiple decisions to be issued by the European Court of Human Rights on Azerbaijan in the future. However, 3 foreign journalists are in the migration office. They remained in migration center yesterday. How do you assess this situation? How are their court perspectives? Can the foreign journalists appeal to the court? Journalists have different rights. One of their rights is to appeal to court. They can file a lawsuit in the court. It is not obvious for me that foreign journalists should receive permission to implement their professional work in Azerbaijan. If right is restricted, there should be reason. This reason should be necessity for democratic country. If this right is recognized for everybody, why this right should not recognize for foreign journalists? If they received visa legally and visited Azerbaijan, they can be engaged in their professional work. As I know, they said in their explanation that when they appeal to diplomatic delegation in Azerbaijan, They said that their aim is to take film in Azerbaijan. If their aim was noted, there should not be any problem. It is interesting that journalists from the European countries and other countries should receive visa for coming Azerbaijan. There were demands before them. There is no any visa region between Azerbaijan and Commonwealth of Independent States countries. Journalists from Commonwealth of Independent States are coming Azerbaijan freely. They are taking a reportage and they are receiving interview from high-ranking officials. They were publishing them in the newspapers, especially in Russian newspapers. Is there discrimination between them? Of course, there is discrimination. Separate countries can apply a different visa regime. European countries applied this system to other countries. Azerbaijan applied visa regime to other countries, not Commonwealth of Independent States countries. How is the situation regarding dissemination reportage from Azerbaijan directly? As I know, Cabinet of Ministers doesn't have such decision. These issues are not being regulated in Azerbaijan. We didn't have such problem until 2005. Free rights in legislation were restricted with artificial changes made to the legislation recently. Free right means to obtain information. How can the issue be solved? Monitoring should be conducted to solve the problems. Restrictions which contradict with international norms should be eliminated. Unnecessary restrictions should not be put. This is damaging Azerbaijan's image and freedoms. Thank you for coming to our studio. Our guest was lawyer Alasgar Mammadli.